All right, let's get right into it. You know that feeling, right? That deep, stubborn knot in your neck or shoulders that just will not go away? But what if that tension isn't just a physical thing? What if it's actually a learned habit, a bad pattern your body has memorized and now can't seem to forget?
So that's the big question we're tackling today, and we're going to look at it through the lens of some really fascinating research coming out of Denmark. The idea is that maybe this persistent tension is less about needing another massage and more about, needing to completely retrain both your muscles and your brain.
So, first up, how can we even prove that muscle tension is a learned habit? Well, our first piece of the puzzle actually comes from a pretty unexpected place, the world of voice therapy. Let's see what the Danish researchers found there.
They looked at this method called complete vocal technique, or CVT. Now, this was developed to help people with voice problems caused by way too much muscle tension in their throat and neck. But here's the key. It's designed to fix learned dysfunctional patterns. This isn't just about trying to relax. It's about actively teaching the muscles how to forget a bad habit.
And this is where it gets really cool. The fact that CVT works is huge. It's powerful evidence for a big question. I mean, think about it. If you can teach singers to unlearn the specific tension that's hurting their voice, it proves that the tension was a physical habit in the first place. And here's the kicker. It's all happening in the exact same muscles, the neck, the shoulders, where so many of us carry our stress. It totally validates this idea that chronic tension is something we learn and, more importantly, something we can unlearn.
So the main takeaway from all this voice research is pretty clear. If you really want to break the cycle of chronic tension, you have to go in and deal with the muscle at a local level. You need treatments that do more than just provide temporary relief. You need something that actively retrains the muscle out of that bad pattern. And that, right there, sets the stage for the other half of this story.
Because, let's be honest, retraining the muscle is only half the battle. At the end of the day, where do those muscles get their marching orders from? The brain, right? Our body's command center. So this second piece of Danish research dives into retraining the brain's own defensive reflexes, the very things that keep those muscles clamped down and tense.
And this brings us to something called VRCBT. It's a really smart integrated therapy that combines balance rehab with cognitive behavioral therapy. And what's its target? It's aimed right at the brain's overactive alarm system. You know that feeling of being constantly on edge, easily startled? That state of hypervigilance is a massive driver of physical tension.
This really breaks down that vicious cycle we can get trapped in. Step 1, your brain senses some kind of stress. Step 2, boom, the startle reflex kicks in. Step 3, you feel it as physical tension in your neck and shoulders. Now, VRCBT jumps in right at the end of that loop. It basically teaches your brain to rethink those signals and turn down the volume, or the gain, on that physical stress response so your body stops overreacting.
And that's the absolute critical point here. We're not just telling our muscles to chill out, we are actually reprogramming the central nervous system to stop screaming, tense up in the first place. This whole approach targets what we call the somatic or bodily memory of stress that gets hardwired into our reflexes over time.
Okay, so we've got evidence for retraining the muscles locally, and we've got evidence for dialing back the brain's response centrally. So what happens when you put these two threads of Danish research together? Well, you get a really powerful, coherent strategy for finally dealing with chronic tension.
This lays it out perfectly. On one hand, you've got the voice therapy research, which proves tension is a local, physical habit you can fix right in the muscle. On the other hand, you have the VRCBT research, which proves that tension is kept alive by the brain's central stress loops. See, they're not competing theories. They are literally two sides of the exact same coin.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Persistent tension isn't just in your head, and it's not just in your muscles. It is a learned, bad pattern that is living in both your muscles' programming and your brain's stress response. And understanding this points us straight to a dual-pronged attack for actually getting results. You have to address both fronts. First, you need local motor retraining, things like dry needling, to go right to the source of those trigger points. And second, you need autonomic regulation, therapies like auricular therapy, to help calm the nervous system and break that central stress loop.
I love this analogy. It's such a great way to think about it. The work on the muscles is like running a defrag tool on your body's hard drive. It cleans up all those corrupted files of tension. And at the same time, the work on the nervous system is like hitting the master reset button on your brain's twitchy alarm system. You absolutely need both for the whole system to finally run smoothly again.
Which leaves us with this final thought. If we start to accept that this nagging, chronic tension is just a learned habit, not some unavoidable fate, well, that just changes everything, doesn't it? It makes you wonder, not just about what treatments are out there, but about how we approach our own posture, our own stress, and our own power to consciously unlearn the patterns that are holding us back. Makes you think, what habits might you need to unlearn?